One night, the king removed his crown, disguised himself as a beggar, and secretly walked into his own kingdom. The first person he asked for help rejected him. "I have not eaten."
Move away from here.
But the poorest woman in the market gave him the little food she had.
In the kingdom of Akoda, there lived a powerful king named King Obasi. He had ruled for many years. His palace was enormous, his guards were loyal, and whenever he walked through the streets, people bowed their heads. But there was one thing that troubled him. He didn't know whether his people truly loved him or were simply afraid of him. Every morning, his advisors praised him. "Your Majesty, the people adore you. You are the greatest king this kingdom has ever had. Everyone is grateful for your leadership." King Obasi smiled whenever he heard these words. But deep inside, he wondered, are they telling me the truth? One evening, he made a decision. He would leave the palace disguised as a poor beggar. That night, King Obasi removed his royal clothes. He put on an old, dirty tunic. He covered his head with a worn piece of cloth and rubbed mud on his face. Then he looked into a mirror. He barely recognized himself. He secretly left the palace through a small back gate. No guards. No servants. No crown. For the first time in decades, he walked through his own kingdom as an ordinary man. The next morning, he approached the marketplace. He stretched out his hand. "Please, sir. I haven't eaten since yesterday." A wealthy merchant looked at him and waved him away. "Go somewhere else. You're disturbing my customers." King Obasi walked away quietly. Then he approached a woman selling vegetables. "Mother, please. Can you spare me something to eat?" The woman looked at his dirty clothes. Without saying a word, she picked up 2 pieces of boiled yam and placed them in his hands. "Eat." King Obasi stared at her. "You don't even know me." She smiled. "Does hunger ask for your name before it enters your stomach?" For the first time that day, the king smiled. Later, he walked through a poor neighborhood. There he saw something that shocked him. A young boy was crying because his family had no food. The boy's mother was trying to comfort him. King Obasi sat beside them. "Why don't you ask the palace for help?" he asked. The woman laughed bitterly. "The palace?" She shook her head. "They don't know people like us exist." The king's heart sank. "But the king is a good man," he said. The woman looked around before answering. "I don't know." "Why?" "Because we never see him." Those words stayed in the king's mind. That afternoon, he visited a village outside the capital. An elderly farmer welcomed him into his home. The farmer gave him water and a small plate of food. While they ate, King Obasi asked, "What do you think about your king?" The old farmer sighed. "I have never met him." "Do you think he is a bad king?" The farmer shook his head. "No." "Then do you think he is a good king?" The farmer looked at him carefully. "I don't know." The king was surprised. The farmer continued. "A king should not only live behind palace walls. He should know how his people sleep. He should know when they are hungry. He should hear their complaints without needing someone to translate them." King Obasi lowered his eyes. Every word felt like a stone against his heart. That night, he returned to the palace. His guards nearly attacked him because they didn't recognize him. When he finally revealed himself, everyone was shocked. The next morning, King Obasi summoned his advisors. "Tell me honestly," he said. The advisor smiled nervously. "Your Majesty, how many villages have no clean water?" Silence. "How many families went hungry last month?" Nobody answered. "How many schools need repairs?" Still nothing. The king stood up. You have spent years telling me that everything is perfect. His voice became louder. But yesterday, I walked through my kingdom dressed as a beggar. Everyone became silent. I saw hungry families. I saw broken roads. I saw children without food. And I heard people say they don't even know whether their king cares about them. The advisors lowered their heads. From that day forward, King Obasi changed. He ordered new wells to be built. He repaired roads. He opened the palace storehouses during times of hunger. And most importantly, he began visiting villages regularly, not with a huge procession, but quietly, so he could listen. Years later, when the king became old, one of his grandchildren asked him, "Grandfather, why did you once dress like a beggar?" The old king smiled. "Because I needed to lose my crown." He paused to finally hear the truth. And that became the lesson remembered throughout Akoda. A good leader doesn't only listen to people who praise him. A good leader listens to the people who are afraid to speak.